I'm going to lead by sharing that this isn't my usual video. If you've been following my channel, you'll know that I typically showcase high caliber gear, tools, and equipment that go outside the binary. But every now and then there's something that might not fall into my typical niche that I want to share, and this is one of those moments. So today, we're going to be talking about APLÓS. Let's get into it. This is APLÓS, and it is a non-alcoholic spirit and one which I have been sipping on in the evenings over the last 6 or so months. For transparency, I have no affiliation with APLÓS. These are my own words, and as always, they're going to be straightforward and honest. So here's the gist of it. I never expected to love a non-alcoholic beverage. My spirit of choice is still first and foremost gin. I love gin, especially in a martini, straight up with 2 olives and dirty. Very dirty. But my relationship with alcohol has evolved over the years, especially so in the last few, and I've found myself wanting to partake in the evening ritual that is a nightcap, especially around a fire late at night, but I've also found myself sometimes not wanting that to involve alcohol for a whole heap of different reasons. What's a person to do? I started looking into non-alcoholic beverages, which, let me tell you, is a wild world. O'Doul's is no longer the singular option for individuals who want to revel in a tasty libation. No, I'm happy to share that the options are bountiful now. The traditional NA beer and NA wine exists, but with cool twists on them, with modern local breweries and wineries making craft NA IPAs and sparkling wines. There are NA spirits that pose as traditional liquors, such as NA gins, vodkas, and whiskeys, and come pretty dang close to the flavors of the originals. There are premixed cocktails, bitters, and aperitifs, and things that don't really fall into any category, and instead make a new category of their own. And there are places you can go try these things before you get them. I'm from Minnesota, and a place called Marigold opened in the Twin Cities, which is a non-alcoholic bottle shop, meaning there are all things NA beverage there, and a small bar where you can sample things before you get them. This place is lovely, always busy, and filled with the best people. And there are loads of these starting to pop up all over the US, which makes me really happy to see. Oddly enough, I found the beverage we're here to talk about today on Instagram. Yes, this is a targeted ad success story. Amongst the cacophony of Instagram ads that predictably started to come up on my feed post beginning my research for an NA beverage, APLÓS was the one that struck home. APLÓS calls itself a functional, non-alcoholic spirit, and I would consider it like nothing I've ever really tasted before as a standalone drink. It's citrusy, it's herbal, there's a bite to it on the back of the tongue, but different from the bite of liquor, and it feels complex through the whole sip and after. APLÓS's website describes it as having a flavor profile with yuzu, rosemary, basil, cucumber, and dandelion. I personally had never heard of yuzu, so when I read this originally, I 1000% had to look up what that was, so don't worry, I'll do the heavy lifting for you. Yuzu is a citrus fruit, and it looks like small grapefruit. The more you know. It's sugar-free, non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, has no artificial ingredients, and has all sorts of tasty ways to dress it up in a cocktail, or you can drink it neat or over ice. It also has hemp, which we'll talk about in a moment. Feel free to pause here to see the full list of ingredients. So, I said hemp. Let's explore that a bit. There are heaps of CBD and THC beverages that are hitting the market lately. APLÓS boasts 20 milligrams of broad-spectrum hemp per serving, which is supposed to bring an uplifting and calming effect. Will APLÓS make you high? No. APLÓS shares that they utilize specifically broad-spectrum hemp extracts, which brings you all the good stuff without the high. So then what's the difference between APLÓS and a CBD drink? They share that they like to differentiate APLÓS from a CBD drink because of the full-spectrum hemp element, which includes all of the cannabinoids, not just the CBD. And they emphasize that full-spectrum hemp strips out the THC, so there are no psychoactive properties. That aside, they are claiming that the active compounds in their hemp will activate parts of your system that help you regulate your mood, appetite, sleep, and this can affect everyone differently, just like coffee. They openly share that most folks feel a gentle, calming feeling after just 1 or 2 servings. You can and should do your own research, but I will share my perspective here. APLÓS recommends 2 ounces over ice or mixed. I typically drink mine with half the prescribed serving over the course of 2 drinks, so 1 ounce each beverage. I drink mine exactly as they put it, with an ice cube as is, or with a coconut LaCroix over ice and possibly some lime juice if I'm feeling fancy. You bet your buttons this could be placebo, but I do feel chill after the second beverage, especially if I do the full recommended amount of 2 ounces and have 2 of those, which I did last weekend when we had folks over, and I had a few of these throughout the night. I'll be honest, I don't care if it's placebo. It's enough for me that I feel a bit of the tension of the day shrug off over the course of my nightcap, and it's so damn subtle that it just feels natural. I've tried CBD drinks and others in that category, and I'm such a hypersensitive Harry that I sometimes get wigged out, and sometimes when there's clearly something coming in and altering my state of mind outside of my own will, I don't like it. APLÓS, on the other hand, feels like it's taking your hand and walking you into a kind of a calmer mood without forcing it. There's also something to say about the wild feeling you get when something just comes in and chills you the heck out without the buzz and dampening effect of alcohol. I feel 100% crisp and clear when sipping on APLÓS, ready to make decisions, but also relaxed enough to say, hey, it's okay if you think about that big thing tomorrow, and put on my slippers. Since starting my search for the perfect NA beverage, I've sampled a fair amount of different brands and styles of drinks. I've done up a lot of popular brands like Gia or Zero Proof or Liars, but amongst my favorites has been a mushroom beer, which tasted exactly like a citrus-forward IPA, and an apple cider aperitif that was a limited run from a Minneapolis mixologist that tasted exactly like vermouth. My favorites have often been the local brews that have funk to them and boast unique and bold flavors. I will call out drinks like Pentire's Adrift and Tennyson's Black Ginger, which feel like they're doing something different. They have cool flavors and clean ingredients that are refreshing and bold. But I keep coming back to APLÓS, and I think it's because of the added hemp element. There's a whisper of a promise that will help me find my mellow, but won't force me into the passenger seat and drive on my behalf. I've found NA beverages that solely rely on good flavors without any added health benefits to just be fun to try, sort of one and done kind of drink. There is definitely an appeal to beverages that claim adaptogens or ingredients that bring something to the table in regards to giving back to your body for consuming it. But let's talk a big downside here. Price. Everyone hates this downside. We hate hearing it, and I hate talking about it, but it exists. APLÓS isn't cheap. It's currently $48 for a single bottle, and the bottle isn't big, even though they made it bigger from what it originally was, which was welcomed. That's more than a nice bottle of booze in many cases. Yes, you can get some savings if you purchase in bulk, but still, ouch. APLÓS, this is not a criticism. I recognize that you're a smallish business at the time of this video, and I am a huge supporter of quality over quantity, and I hope to heck that you never bring that price down at the sacrifice of the goodness of your ingredients. That being said, I would personally buy one heck of a lot more of your products if it were a bit less. But a quick final note on APLÓS as a business. I will say that their customer service is truly 10 out of 10. APLÓS recently changed up their packing strategy, and some issues arose with it when we've had a few different shipments either arrive with leaking or broken bottles or not arrive at all due to the same issues happening before making it that far. What's cool is APLÓS has made it right every single time and been really kind about it. The customer service folks have been lovely and fun to speak with, which goes a really, really long ways. Though we talked primarily about APLÓS today, I do want to underline that I recognize that NA beverages are like bespoke suits. In order for it to work for you, it really has to fit like a glove. And each of us are made differently, and in turn are maybe seeking an alcohol alternative for a very, very wide range of different reasons. This is not a PA to consume or not consume alcohol either, and I'm not telling you what's right for you. Similar to you, I only know me and what's right for me, and I really enjoyed this beverage and figured that was worth sharing. As always, I'm Milotash. Cheers.